It is time for the Sunday Roundtable, and joining me this morning, Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh and Republican political analyst Rob Gray. We want to start, of course, thanks both for being here. We want to start with huge and still evolving news on the leak of secret military documents and the arrest of a 21-year-old Massachusetts Air National Guardsman. A very bad look for the Pentagon. What is going on here? In the internet age, are there just too many classified documents to keep track of, Marianne?
Well, what is it? Did you not get the message with Edward Snowden? Was it Reality Winter? Perhaps Chelsea Manning? I mean, this is not the first time. And yet I don't think anyone realizes either the younger kids are better at technology. You, in theory, got a security clearance. Maybe they're not being vetted as well. Or maybe people who are a little more older and responsible have to become more tech savvy. Come on.
All right, Rob.
Well, first of all, there seems to always be a Massachusetts connection on every major national story or national political story, and here we go again. But I agree with Marianne. I mean, now espionage is an impulse click away for a lot of young people. Are the feds keeping up with it? This would make you think not.
Yeah, and I would just say the Times and the Post beat the government to it.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, they're going to have to lock this guy up and throw away the key. That's the only way you're going to stop it.
All right, well, let's move on. Governor Healey and the state's top leaders making it clear where they stand on access to mifepristone, the abortion pill. The governor announcing last week that the state has purchased 15,000 doses, enough, she says, for more than a year. Last week, a federal appeals judge upheld a ban on access to the pill by mail. Now, this is all likely headed to the Supreme Court. Will abortion be just as big an issue as Trump in 2024? Rob?
Well, I think it's heading that way, and especially with Governor DeSantis in Florida now signing a bill that restricts abortion further in Florida. He's obviously
6 weeks, right?
Yeah, and he's obviously a presidential candidate, so you have to think this is going to go to the finish line, and Democrats are going to make it an issue because it helps Democrats, I think nationally. That said, it's a year and a half out. And anybody who predicts what the major issue is going to be in an election a year and a half out is usually wrong.
It does help Democrats, Marianne, but does it just help Democrats?
No, it helps with unenrolled and independent voters, too. And it helps with women and people of color and even some men who actually believe women should have the right to pick their health care. I mean, here are the two things here. Abortion is going to be an even bigger issue than it was in 2022. It will be the top issue, and Trump will be blamed for it, along with the Republicans, because even though he's trying to backpedal now, he put all the Supreme Court justices on the bench there who are all anti-choice, and that was his litmus test. And by the way, he thinks women should go to jail if they go ahead and do it anyways. To Maura Healey, congratulations for being a leader and planning this in front by going out and getting all those doses of mifepristone and showing the country what it takes to fight this fight. And now everyone's following her.
All right. The House passed its tax relief plan on Beacon Hill last week. They're mostly in sync with the governor, but not entirely. One big difference, last year's budget surplus led to a tax rebate based on the amount paid in state income tax. Now, if this happens again, Chapter 62F, the House wants everyone to get the same amount back. Do you think that's good policy, Marianne?
Well, I think it would help lower income and working class and middle class families, and that would be helpful to them. It would help, close the gap a little bit more, especially given the economic times we're in. But we hadn't had that in 40, 50 years. And so who knows if it's going to come anytime soon.
I think the Mass GOP called it wealth redistribution, Rob.
Well, they're right, and it's misguided. But more importantly in this bill, they're reducing the chance that anybody's going to get a rebate because they're trying to steer more money away from this tax rebate potentially happening again because they want to keep the money and spend it. That being said, if you paid $500 in state income tax, should you get the same rebate check as the family who paid $10,000 in state income tax? I don't think so.
All right. Well, Senator Elizabeth Warren, she held a campaign event last week. It had some interesting moments. A string of protesters disrupted a town hall in Roxbury. A fist fight also broke out, a line of people waiting to take selfies with the senator. Is this what campaigning is going to look like now, Marianne, as I see you shaking your head?
I was there.
Yeah.
I saw the whole thing. I've never seen anything like it.
Hold on, were you in the fist fight?
I don't think I didn't think about it at one point, okay? Especially when the guy tried to come on the Meteorizer. I'm like, seriously? I've never seen anything like it. And it's really unfortunate because it was such a great event when it started. And yet then on 3 separate occasions, 3 men interrupted 4 of the most powerful women in Massachusetts politics in the country, Warren specifically, and they denied other people the opportunity to speak. And then to top it off, everybody wanted to get a picture with her, which she did the selfie lines, which she's always done.
Yeah, she's done that for
and
a
then,
while, yeah.
Then there was a fist fight and they shut it down. And frankly, because it was 3 men and 4 elected women up there, I found it disgusting, inexcusable, and frankly sexist.
Is this the future of campaigning? Is this what we have to look forward to now at these events, Rob?
Well, I think it's happened for a long time, but it's just broadcast more now. But listen, civility sells. And I'm no fan of Elizabeth Warren, not a secret here. But the agitators who came in and yelled and screamed, they made her look good and their own cause look bad. That's usually what happens in this case. It backfires on the protesters.
All right, let's talk more about 2024. Ron DeSantis asking the Florida delegation apparently to stop endorsing former President Trump. Matt Gaetz didn't get the message. So what does this say about DeSantis, Rob?
Well, I think it says that he's running potentially an effective campaign mechanically because this is background political tradecraft that everybody has to do. Line up endorsements, try to deny them to your opponent. That's what he's doing here. It makes sense.
Is he going to be successful, you think?
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing about DeSantis. Is he a good candidate just on paper, or is he a good candidate out on the stump? We don't know the answer yet. Does he even have, what it takes to take down Trump? We just don't know.
What do you think, Marianne?
DeSantis is a bully, but no one's afraid of him. They're afraid of Trump. They don't dare endorse DeSantis. And by the way, he served with all of them in the congressional delegation. When he was in Congress, they couldn't stand him. So it's coming back to haunt him. So, when you're a bully and no one's afraid of you, that's a problem. And guess what? Donald Trump's not afraid of DeSantis. He's going to flatten him.